Tahitia.
Hello, Melonya. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Welcome, y'all, to MT Fridays, filling the brain drain one unscripted conversation at a time. I am Melonya.
And I am Tahitia, and I'm having a morning.
She's having a morning. We're going to continue the morning. Okay, we're going to change this around right there. It's a sunny day here in Buffalo, New York. The trees are blooming. The sun is shining. My garden that I'm going to put outside is doing whatever it's doing. Good Lord, it's been quite a journey, but you know for those of you who are joining us, Tahisha and I get together every Friday morning and we talk about everything from politics to science to what's trending to family. We talk about it all. You can see who we are from this page. We are coaches, speakers, facilitators. She is a nurse, content creator. I am a coach and podcast host for Sovereignty Stage. So we're busy. We got some things going.
We are. We are.
What are we
Oh,
talking
man.
about today? What's on your agenda for today?
So, on my agenda today was I actually was going to talk about like lighthearted things because I feel like the world is very heavy. And I have multiple discussions with friends and family about like, is this end times? So I thought I would go a little lighter and talk about like, you know, what do most people desire in a romantic partner?
Oh, that's interesting.
And I don't know. So it's going to be a conversation with us about like what are the things that we think, are
Hmm.
desirable in a partner? And
That's
like what if your partner doesn't have sex? Like those kind of things. Like is that a real romantic partner? So like I consider that a light topic because my other topic was what in the staging area in the back stage. I had said to Melania because I was running late. I was like, I have early onset Alzheimer's. And she was like, no. I'm probably going to talk about that anyways. But yeah, that's what I have. I want to talk about romance because, it's Mother's Day. In order to become a parent, things have to connect together. Doesn't have to be romance. I don't know where I'm going with that.
no.
Anyway, anywho, I'm
Anyway,
all discombobulated.
all
It's
this is
early
what.
onset
Can we
Alzheimer's.
stop claiming diseases? Oh my gosh. She's always claiming the disease. No, we're not claiming Alzheimer's. So today I'm split. I'm split. There's so much going on. I was I'm kind of been interested in John Deere with some things that are happening. John Deere is now in a tariff war with Trump, but
Oh,
and and some folks are. I don't know if I'm going to talk about John Deere or do I want to keep it light and talk about this year's Met Gala and
oh,
Black Dandyism and Halle Berry's dress. So let's
oh my
let's keep
goodness.
it light today. Let's go to the Met Gala, shall
I
we?
love it. I love all of it, but I want to know all about all of it too, because I didn't know the John Deere thing. So I
Yeah.
think if anyone comes on and is like, we want to hear about John Deere, then you should do it.
Well, what, it has some, and maybe we can
We're gonna do it all,
maybe we can fit them all in.
maybe.
So let's start now with
I won't remember I have Alzheimer's.
so, you know what? God damn it. If you don't claim stuff, you know how I feel about language. I don't claim
I
anything
know.
negative. All right,
I
so
know.
we're talking about romance, okay? Let's start talking about romance, shall we? Ah,
You know, you brought up dandyism and the Met Gala, and you were like, I'm going to talk about something light, the Met Gala. And immediately, I did not think light. I want you to know that.
mm,
I thought, so I went to our president, our current president, and his upset at not being invited. So I was like, oh, she's going to talk about that. And
Mm-mm.
then you were like, something else. And I was like, this is beautiful. Because the outfits at the Met, I'm always torn between like, what are you wearing that is gorgeous? And what are you wearing? Is that a piano on your back?
Mm. That's a piano on his back. You know what? Here's the sad part about it. I was looking at the outfit. It took me a while to realize there was a piano on his back.
The outfits are just outstanding.
They are
Like,
just
the outfits are what I would have designed as the costume designer in high school for our, like, our shows that we did, and the outfits I designed were always bad. I was told by my co-high school friends that they were just ridiculous. Because I was very like, "You know what? We can make a costume out of a cardboard box. Like, we can do this. Tile, done." Like, so I feel like if anything, I wish I could go to the Met. We should go to the Met. Please invite us to the Met one year. We could be dandy.
well, you know what? Now I'll put this ticker tape up here, but let me just share something. Seeing that we started with the Met, well, you know what? First of all, I thought it was a very interesting. I don't know when they made a decision to uh do dandyism, and I didn't know anything about dandyism. Do you know anything about dandyism?
I do not.
Do you see a
I'm not a
picture
good
up there?
guy. I do see a picture up here.
Is it
Black
Hallie?
dandy. It's Halle Berry.
I
She
can't see
looks
it.
amazing.
Now wait a
Uh,
minute. That dress has gotten a lot of she's gotten a lot of pushback on that outfit.
I like ladies, so anything that shows your vajaj, like, what do you want? I'm a perv. I'm not even a sexual person. I don't even know why I said that. But like she definitely has a hot vagina in this. Like if like it's beautiful. I love it.
No,
It's like two on the top and one on the bottom. I like all of it.
no, well, you know what? Here's the thing. It's getting a lot of pushback because, well, first of all, let's talk about Black dandyism. And I'm not an expert on it. I've just done a few minutes
I
of
know
research.
nothing, so
Well,
we are gonna learn together.
it started, I think, in the 1800s. I think it was, and it was a form of self-expression for Black folks. There, I can see it now. It took forever to come, but it was an expression of Black people being able to express themselves through their dress, right? And it was about they identifying themselves as respectable and having agency, and it was an act of resistance, right, in terms of their dress, right? And then move into the Harlem Renaissance phase. And again, you remember the folks in the suits and the whatever, but it was a way for Black people to really, and again, if I'm wrong with this and somebody has more information on it, please put it in the chat. But it was a way for Black people to have agency and express themselves. So I thought it was really, again, I don't know when the Met Gala decided to go with that theme, but in light of all the things that are happening, in this country under DEI and things of that nature. I mean, President Trump just signed an executive order to try to wipe out a very significant portion of the Civil Rights Act, right? So I thought it was very interesting that they chose that theme. And Hallie has been getting a lot of negative pushback for this outfit.
Okay, tell me why. Because
Well,
like I like
because
it.
it's like nobody asked to see her kitty. That's, I mean, like,
I mean,
but
who
but
says that? I might have.
but here's the thing too.
And
Like,
you can't see her kitty. Let's
yes, you
be
can. Well,
clear.
sure you can.
Can
When
you?
she walks, you're going to be able to see it. You can see
I
it.
mean, does she?
I
Maybe.
mean, when she
And
walks,
what's wrong with kitty?
Well, here's the
I
thing.
got a
You
cat.
know what?
You got a
So
cat.
let's broaden this conversation. So Megan the Stallion got clobbered some because she had on this outfit that had both of her breasts exposed with the exception of some pasties, right? And and I don't know. I guess I'm old school in the sense that my mom always said to me, Melania, leave a little something to the imagination. And I can really appreciate that. I'm not a prude or anything of that nature, but I do believe that whether it's right or wrong, you are judged by how you appear in the world. We make assumptions about that. You see someone in a suit or whatever, your mindset is probably not they're going to pull out a gun and shoot me, right? But and you see somebody who has tattered and ripped clothing and it's dirty, and you might look at them and immediately go, that person is homeless. I mean, the mind works in a way that it tries to identify what is in front of
It
it.
tries to keep you safe.
It tries
It
to keep you
tries
safe.
to drop people into categories to keep you safe.
Right.
Um, and I also do wonder if she is held to a higher standard or more criticism because she is Halle Berry, right? So she's older, and perhaps there's also the thought that as someone in our age group, maybe she should be more conservative in her outfit. I loved it because honestly, like in this age group, I love when women are like, you know what, fuck it. I am sexy. Age doesn't matter. I'm going to be risky. And that's what I love about this outfit. I
Well,
love the
here's the
fact
thing.
that she's not in her 20s and she's amazing looking. Like, I wish I looked like this.
Oh yeah, I probably would be dressed like that if I had her body too. I'm
Right?
just saying, yeah.
Like, if I could go back in time when I had a rockin' body, I would have told my rockin' body self, show it off at every opportunity because it will go away one day.
I'd be
Like,
naked.
and take lots of pictures. I would have just been naked 24/7.
I'd be naked.
Like,
I'd have been naked.
yes.
If
And
I
she
only
works
knew.
hard for this
If
body.
I had
Like, from
only
what I
known.
understand from all the stuff she sells. She's always like
Yeah, but
exercising.
you know what? Here's the
Hateful.
you know what? She does. She has a beautiful body. She's a beautiful woman, right? But here's the other thing too. So I think it might have been last year. It might have been during the fall. I went to a friend's daughter had a art exhibit open, and she was displaying her work. And I walked into the event, and there was when you walked in, there was kind of like a raised area stage, or it was in a window or whatever. And I walked in and I looked up, and the first thing that I was met with was this young lady's butt cheeks that were barely covered under her very, 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 very short skirt. And my first thought was, why am I looking at her butt? Why do I see somebody's butt? Right. And
Was
then
it a nice bud at least?
I, I don't want
Or
it
did you,
was
like, look
it,
away?
it was
Like,
Friday's
"That's
night
my
on
friend."
at 6 p.m. I'm not trying to see nobody's butt at 6 p.m. on a Friday night, right? This is not, we're not to say that this is acceptable in a club, but you're not in a club, right? This so okay. And so you're like, oh, okay, right? And then another young lady came and she too had her cheeks out. What was very interesting was there was a married couple that came in, and the husband, I was watching him look at this young girl's butt,
The
and he
test
was
of his
confused.
fidelity.
He didn't
He's
know
like,
whether to
"I
be
don't know where to look."
titillated or disgusted. But my thing is that I do believe that we as women, I think we're more than our bodies, right? I
We
mean,
are.
if you really want, I think you can make a statement. You can be sensual and sexy and beautiful and strong, and you don't have to forego any measure of modesty to do that. I'm not saying that you have to hide the body or is something that is something wrong with the body, but don't tell me that you really want to know my mind, right? I want you to know my mind. I want you to know my heart. I want you to know what my values are and what I believe in. And when I am scantily dressed, because really what I'm saying is I'm advertising myself in a way that is distracting to what is really essentially the most important part of me. And I just think that women, and you see young,
But I will say
hmm,
part of her brand is, doesn't she have, like, an exercise thing and, like, nutrition stuff
what
and,
does
like,
that have to do with us looking at her
well,
vagina?
when we're talking, well, she's also selling herself, right? Like, so she looks very fit. She looks very in shape. I might say to myself, "Wow, I wonder what that exercise routine is," or whatever. And, like, I think, I mean, I'm one of those people who doesn't see this as a miss for her, but I get the controversy around it. And I don't see it as a miss because she's older and she's being daring with her outfit. I like the fact that she has horizontal, right? That's what these are, the long
Mhm.
way lines.
Mhm.
That is very slimming for a woman our age. Like, it makes you, it draws the eye to the narrowness
To the
of you.
vagina?
S You know what? You're so, but the vagina technically is covered. I wanna
Not
see her, like, move in it because, like,
no,
it's right in the front, and I honestly can't tell, is she wearing, like, a sheer something
no,
underneath it? Sh
no.
It's totally naked underneath?
Yeah,
Really? Are you
yeah,
sure?
yeah.
I feel like there could be something
No,
there.
it's not.
Oh, okay. Well, more power to you. Maybe she had, like, see, I would not go underwearless because as I've gotten older,
It's
I'm
not a
just
good
gonna
move.
say it's just not a good move because you want something to catch some things just in
Everything.
case they fall out of you.
Yeah,
So
I just
I
think it's
find this to be so brave. Hallie, you are so brave. And if you want to be friends with me, I'm open to it just for this bravery.
yeah, you know what? First of all, I never thought she should have won that Oscar for Monster Ball. I was like, whatever it
Well,
was.
you going back in time and taking things away from her.
Yeah, you know what? I've always been salty about it because I never thought she was that great of an actress. I'm not taking anything away from her. That was not an Oscar worthy performance. There have been some really great actresses out there, and she's not necessarily one of them. I'm not hating on her. Really, I mean, just
Oh,
aesthetically,
Halle
it's it's
Berry.
it's it's a
You
it's
were the first to really rock that short hair.
yeah,
Melania's coming at you hard
she's an
today.
icon. Don't get me
She
wrong. She is, and
The breasts kind of dipped out, like,
it's
I
it's
just love
a, it's
everything
a
about this.
it's a stunning outfit. I just really am not. I just think that we're in a. I don't know. I just think that women have been so over the years they have been so focused on their physicality, right? Are my thighs thin enough? Do I need a waist trainer? All the Botox
Do
and
I have
everything.
cellulite?
Yeah, all of the things that trip us up and keep us in our bodies and focus on the most trivial things while our rights are being taken away, right? And I just think that we need to elevate ourselves and elevate the conversation. Is this a stunning outfit? It is in many ways, but I just and it's not
I just looked up her age. She's 58.
right.
Looks
I'm not, and
amazing.
here's the thing.
Um,
I'm not saying because you're 58, I wouldn't want to see it on a 20-year-old. I
it's
would
a Laquan Smith gown. Um, The Atlanta Black Star has an interesting article entitled "No Panties at All." That's what
right.
mine meant. Oh, stunned. Ooh, yes, okay. Uh, she did have no undies on
Yeah.
with
No,
this.
no,
Mhm,
she
mhm.
didn't. And like I said, this is not an age thing because I'm very much not an ageist. It's not. I would not want to see any woman. I just think that, in a time where we are being disrespected, in the United States as well as around the world, we should carry ourselves with some amount of decorum and be respectful of ourselves, so that we're not looked at as just an object or somebody's so desperate to get attention. And I give it a thumbs down for that. Not again, not because of her age or whatever. I wouldn't want to see a 20-year-old in that.
Well, you gave it a thumbs down. I gave it a thumbs up, but I want to see Halle Berry's kitty. Now I have to go and look at
Mhm.
videos.
You,
I don't know what that does for me, but
you cannot. I can't with you. So let's talk about romance, shall we?
romance. Yeah, you know what? That segues so well into romance at this age. And like, is it a sexual thing or is it just you want companionship? I was thinking about it the other day and really like, because I am single, Melania's single too. She doesn't throw it out there, just like she doesn't advertise her kitty. Um,
I don't.
like Halle Berry. Um, but like I started to think like what would I want like if I was dating, like what do I want in a partner? And like the thing that doesn't pop up often in my head is sex. Right? Like but what I think about a lot and then I think like do I want a partner or do I want a housemate? Is I'm like, "Oh, I wish someone would unload the dishwasher." Like and then I'm like, "Wait, I have a kid. Oh, but hopefully he moves out one day, right?" So like what would you want in a partner? Like is it this like at this age, not that sex isn't important, but at this age like is it sex? Is it someone to find your body in case you like like cuz you know if you live alone, like I do look at my pets and sometimes I'm like would they eat me? Like I don't think Bravo would, but Echo is sketchy. She's a cat. I feel like she's sketchy. Like they're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, "Is this Tahitia? Oh no, that's her. There's the tattoo. There's one tattoo left they didn't eat." But like like the sex thing is big, and I wonder if it's a gender thing because I think like I've heard that women have less of a sexual impulse as they get older and men still kind of like have that well, Picasso is an example of that, right? He was still fucking having babies when he was like a billion. So like is it just because I'm female that I'm sort of like, oh, I just want someone to like not touch me, but like play board games me? I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I think I need to figure that out too. Like,
You
you
know, it's
know,
really funny because I'm in a very different space. I don't want any romance. I'm not interested. Um, I, I,
but do you
you,
worry about, like, someone not finding your body? Like,
mm,
that might be the only reason I've started to think on it.
you know what?
Like,
If I'm dead, I don't care. I just don't care. And
you
if
know what? That is so true if you're dead, like, you
yeah,
don't care.
I
I
don't
only
care.
care
And if
because
my
I'm
dog,
alive thinking about it.
if eating me keeps my dog alive until somebody finds her, I'm okay with that too. You know
Do
what I
they put
mean?
dogs down that eat their owners? I think they
Well,
do.
uh, well, no. Well, I think it depends on the circumstances. If it looks like I've been dead for a long time, they know the dog was, you know, desperate. But with that being said, honestly, it's so funny for the number of years I lamented not being in a relationship, right?
Mm.
And it brought me a great sense of unhappiness, and I had to come to a point where either I could be okay with that. I had to have radical acceptance and say this is what my life is. Now, could I have just been with somebody? Yeah, probably, but I'm picky, and it's not because I'm gorgeous or I have a Halle Berry
You
body.
are gorgeous.
Thank you, God
All
bless
of
you.
those things.
It,
But you know what? It
she's
made
a
me
good
think
liar,
about
and that's why she's my friend. But
no, but, like, seriously, it made me think about the fact that Halle Berry's very harshly judged by that outfit she wore, right? And then there's the like, women get judged differently for being single, like,
oh yeah.
than men do, right? And, like, when you think about singleness and partnership and men and women and gender, like, When I think about men and dating men, I'm like, oh, I'd have to take care of someone.
Yes.
That's like the first thing that pops into my head.
Yes.
And I don't know why. Cause like
Because
secretly in
that's
the
the
back,
reality.
but in the background, there's probably a little part of my mind that's like, if I was dating a man, he would lift very heavy things and mow the lawn. Like I do think about that. Like maybe he would like build a room. Like, but why do I think that about men versus women? Like I could get a handy lady who would do that, right? Like, but I think like even and I say I'm like very open, very like when it comes to like sexuality and gender, but in my recessed little prehistoric mind, I have these little categories where I'm like, if I dated a lady, she might bring me food. If I dated a man, he might mow the lawn. Like two very different things. Why is that? And what do I want out of that? And what am I offering in that situation?
I didn't want to say
Nothing.
anything. It's
Say it.
all about
Coach me,
me. What
baby.
am I going to get? You
What
know,
am I getting out of
you
this?
know what I think the biggest thing that you just said, and again, the algorithm feeds you whatever it is that you click on and like. But I'm running into I think, and if it's true, I'm really happy. And I think this is one of the reasons why men are pushing back in the United States, is that women are opting not to be in relationships when it comes to heterosexual relationships. I think it was in South Korea, right, where there's that movement where women are like, we're not having sex with you, we're not doing, because that's the thing, being in a relationship with a man, and for me, it's more work, right?
Mm.
I've got to, you never get the handy guy, right? Right. The guy that is like, oh, this knob is loose, let me fix. No, I never get that
Where is
guy.
that guy? If there's handy guys out there, Melonya obviously is looking for that guy.
But,
She's got a project with pavers, I think, that she
oh
still
my God.
needs done.
I
The
mean,
person who comes in and does that, male or female. Like, I'm gonna
you
throw
know,
that
I
out there.
mean, like, I've dated a guy who didn't have a hammer, right? That should have been the sign.
Like a hammer.
A hammer.
You know, people need tools.
You
Like,
do.
there are some basic things that you need to have,
Yes.
and tools are one of them. Like, when I first got with my ex-husband, he did not know the difference between a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver.
And that
In
should have been a
fact,
sign.
it should have been a sign, and I should have been like,
Mm.
this guy is you no. He's the father of my children.
No, but
He did something.
but seriously, you end up
He
in.
called it a star screwdriver. That's what he
Okay,
called the Phillips.
okay, all
He's
right.
like, "The one with the star?"
You should have gone.
He's
Oh,
handy now, I believe.
you should have gone. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me excuse myself. I'm going to run to the ladies' room. Gotten in your car and left. You should have gone. I should have left that dude. Like you didn't. You don't have a hammer. But here's the thing: women work really hard in relationships. I'm not saying that men don't in whatever way they do, but women oftentimes always end up being the person that takes care of the household, right? I see.
I just wanna interrupt you and say, we have sucked on the comments. We have a
Oh,
couple listeners,
oh, I'm
and,
sorry. Oh my.
Hannah, hi.
Hi, Hannah. I'm sorry.
And we have someone on Instagram who's Mimi. Hello out there to you too. We are just spitting the talk about relationships and partnerships and yeah, cultural, Hannah, you're right. Cultural expectations are deep. Um, my mom is very open with stuff, but she definitely had this expectation that a guy would take better care of me. And honestly, the best partner I ever had, and I hope no one I ever was with is listening, was this beautiful Filipino man that I dated.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He was amazing. Like he was kind, he was very fit. Um And he, like, if there's anything I regret, it is that I was not emotionally mature back then.
Oh.
I'm still not. So
Well,
don't
here's
come poking around. But I'm just saying, he's a beautiful man. Whoever is with him, they're very lucky. And he was known as a beautiful man. Like, and he was a nurse. So, like, male nurses are just like top tier. Don't marry a doctor, marry a male nurse
you know
or
what's
a female nurse or just a nurse.
because when you get old, you'll have somebody to take care of you. No,
Exactly, because that's where all of this is stemming from. I wanna figure out, what do I need for someone to take care of me?
but you when you brought up emotional, that has been the biggest deterrent for me at this stage in my life of getting into a relationship. Emotional intelligence, emotional
Mhm.
maturity, people who are emotionally available. Here's the problem. I think a big portion of our society is they don't know how to love. They don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to communicate. They
They
don't
haven't
know.
recovered
They
from a
have.
relationship that rocked them.
They haven't. Or sometimes
They
they've
need
been.
coaching.
But sometimes they've been in like I was. I was brought up in a home where the parents had a toxic relationship with each other, right? And so I had to witness all of that. And maybe the fact that I've been single all my life is actually a reaction to not ever wanting that kind of toxicity in my home and in my relationships.
You mentioned something very important, our family backgrounds and what we witness. And I know that I am one of the few people in my family who is not in a partnership, who is not in this long relationship. My parents have been married 52 years. So obviously my mom was pregnant with me, but like they're still together. And like I am the outlier. My brother married his high school sweetheart. I was in a relationship for 8 was married for 8 years, and at 8 years, I know I have been considered in the family like the person who has too many relationships, like, who doesn't go the distance, and meanwhile, I was like, 8 years is a long time. Like, that's a long time to be with someone. But in the context of my parents, no, it's not. Like, or my brother, I think he's been married, I don't know, 30 million years at this point. Like, he got with her when he was 18 or 19. So, and now he's old. So, I don't know. Like, what is it about our families that set us up in different ways to mimic those relationships? Because I know I'm not mimic. My parents had a very rocky, uh, like, early. Now they're settled, and I wonder if like there's this like part of us that doesn't want to settle. Like, I know if I had weathered the storm of my marriage, the infidelity of my marriage, he probably would have settled down. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't have. No idea. But I do know that relationships can have ups and downs, and maybe it's how you weather those ups and downs. And then there's at the age of 51, 52, do I want to even play around with some of that? Right. Because in relationships, you have to learn about each other. You have to like go through that. And like maybe that's the part of me that has been very like, meh.
You know what? On some levels, I found a deep sense of peace, right? And other levels, I'm, I still struggle, right? But by nature, I've always been a loner, right? And a solitary person. And um, I'm trying to think. You said your longest relationship was 8 years. Uh, My longest relation, you know what? I don't like the way your eyebrow just went up. My longest relationship, because you know what? I feel some judgment coming.
There is no
And
judgment.
here's the thing. I'm kind of judging me too, because I was on a dating app and I had it's so funny using dating apps how the span of a relationship that could take 5 years, it happens within a few email conversations, right? So we started out laughing and hysterical, and I was like, this guy is really funny or whatever. But then it devolved, and we found out some things about each other, and we started shooting
You're like,
barbs at each other. And then the next thing you know, he goes, and what's wrong with you that your longest relationship was, I mean, I might have been less than 2 years.
you knew when to jump out. That there's nothing wrong with jumping out.
No,
Okay.
no. But here's the thing: I haven't had long relationships. My longest relationship was probably after less than 2 years. What does that say about me?
I don't think this is anything. I think it says that like we're very judgy of people. Because like if people really live a long time, right? If we're living longer, do you really want to spend it with like someone you're not really fond of? Like it's
I
a
just,
long time to be with someone.
well, you know what? Here's the thing.
And Hannah, the speed of dating on the apps is wild.
It is
Wild.
wild. It is wild. That within the course, I think in the span of 2 days, this person and I, like I said, we were hysterical. I was like, this is a funny dude. Maybe, here's the other thing for me in romance. What do I want in a partner? I would want somebody that's really smart. I need
Do you want
mental.
someone smarter than you or just smart? Because like I don't think I could be with someone smarter than
Well, because
than
there's
me.
nobody that's smarter than me. No, I mean, no. You know what? I don't measure
That's like
intelligence,
a factor though.
but
Like,
no, I don't
do I
measure
mean
intelligence in
smarter or
that
do I
way.
mean haughty? Like, there's like haughty intelligence where like someone's like, "Oh, you went to," where they're like, "I went to Cornell."
Yeah, no, but
And
see
I'm like, "I went to Rutgers."
that
I don't know
wouldn't
what you're talking about.
that wouldn't that doesn't.
I met a doctor who said that to me, and I was like, "This person."
Yeah,
But
I'm not looking for an elitist. I'm looking for someone that has critical thinking. I'm looking for somebody. I'm not looking for anything. But if
you're looking for a lot. You said critical thinking. That is
um,
way too
and
much.
and someone that I think and a good sense of humor often comes with a good intelligence, right? So it's not what you're wearing, it's not what you're driving, it's not what your address is. I don't think I've ever really dated someone that was mentally stimulating. Like
Mm.
maybe a couple of guys. No, I shouldn't say that. I have dated some guys who were mentally stimulating, but for the most part, they weren't. And that's boring. The smarter the woman, the thinner the dating pool. I'm convinced.
Oh
Yes.
my god, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so true, and that goes for both genders, okay? It goes for
Oh.
both, like, queer, straight. You know what? I'm gonna say just smart. It's smart people, it's hard to find. S Yeah.
Even on the woman's side,
Why
really,
would you think women are smarter?
because I am biased. Own your biases, okay?
Some of these studly girls out there are, you know what? You're trying to make it so I never date again.
No, no.
As I bash women.
Well, let me ask you
Women
this.
are super smart.
Do you want to be in a relationship?
That is the $1,000,000 question. I would like to here's what you ready? Here's what I want. I want to go out on dates that are fun. I want to go dancing. I want to occasionally hang out and watch a movie. I don't want to have to like loan you money. I don't want to have to pay for anything. I want I can't decide if I want just friendship, but friendship that involves like we dress up and we go do something.
Companionship.
And yeah, companionship. And then there's a small part of me that every once in a while is like, do I want sex? Hmm. And then I'm like, "Oh, but then you gotta be poking around and figuring things out, and, like, what if it's good for you and it's not good for them or vice versa?" And then you gotta, like, put up with it. "Oh, they're enjoying it, but I'm not really enjoying it, and I gotta do this thing," and, like, it's very complicated. Too complicated.
Well,
So,
you're mo-
I don't think I want a relationship. I definitely think I want to go out on fun dates, like,
well,
dress
wait a
up.
minute. Well, here's the thing.
I do that with my friend, though.
But here's the thing. Do you do all these things on your own, Tahisha?
I do. Which is like, I'm out at the party, like, avoiding talking to people. Like, I go to these, like, queer lady parties, and if I don't go with my good friend, I end up being there, and then people will come and talk to me, and I'll be like, "Why are you talking to me? Like, I'm here to watch people, listen to music, and, like, dance." And then I realize, "What am why am I so antisocial?" Then autism reminds it shows its face, and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's why.
But here's
They
the funny.
encroached on your space."
This is the funny thing. While you were talking, I thought to myself, what you want is romance.
Oh, I guess I do want romance, because, like, honestly, in every relationship I've ever been in, and I'm speaking to all you cunts and assholes, y'all did not buy me enough flowers. Y'all did not take me on enough trips. Y'all didn't do anything for me. I know I look like I'm Studley, but I'm actually not. I am so delicate. I'm a delicate flower. I want to be cared for, which is why when I want to feel loved, I'm going to throw this out there. I go and look at boys. I go and look at boys because boys are more traditional and they're more likely to show up with flowers. Women suck.
It's really interesting. And yeah, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with saying I kind of. So what you're kind of describing is a romantic friend, right? Someone who you are the relationship can be kind of flirtatious. It
Yes.
can be, you can hang out, you can have a good time with them. They stimulate you mentally. You're, you know, but it is what it is. It doesn't have to be any more than that. And if something else happens, oh well, but let's not make a big deal out of it, right? I don't know, or
Okay,
maybe.
but, like, don't expect something else to happen. I want it to be all on my terms, which is so selfish, which I think is what most people want, right? Like, I want to say yes, no, and, like, that is such a selfish, narcissistic way to view a relate and that's probably why I'm single. Like, if it's not exactly what I want, when I want it, I am very just, meh about it. And I feel like there's a little part of me that starts to do that to, like, push people away, to definitely push people. Because like, I say all this, but there's been romantic people, and I always say to, like, people when, I'm dating them, I'm like, "Ah, I don't like flowers," but, like, secretly what that means is, "Surprise me
Oh
with some
no, now you're talking
flowers."
crazy, right? Now,
No, but I think, like, a lot of people do these crazy behaviors where they say, like,
and
"I don't like Valentine's Day, I don't like holidays, I don't like to dress up and do these things," but really, they, like they want to be surprised by those things.
see, that's what I think that's a woman thing, and that's annoying as hell. I mean, really, tell people what you want. If you want flowers, give me flowers. If you want to go out dancing, go out dancing. If you want to Netflix and chill, then say that.
And,
I don't. You can't
I say that
expect
to my
people.
friends, I don't say that to potential partners. Like, I was on I think it was the, OkCupid OkCupid. OkCupid should pay us money because technically that's an ad, okay? But I was on OkCupid and, I had my profile set to, like, men and women, and there were, like, 2 guys that I was talking to that we had made it to like the not they didn't have my phone number, but they had like some kind of bridge number that we were chatting on. And I knew that I wasn't like physically attracted. Well, I don't know if I was physically attracted to one guy because he had these very like weird artsy pictures. And I was like, he's either attractive or he is some type of troll creature monster that will come out of like the dance party, like, rah! Like I had no, but like what I was trying to do with these two guys, I was like, hey, yo, like, we should meet up someplace. Cause I was really curious. Cause like the thing with dating apps is it's really hard to tell what someone looks like. Do they look like their picture or are they secretly a monster? Like,
Or
cause like,
filters.
yes, or filters. And like, cause I went on a date years ago with this guy who said he was 5'9" and I'm 5'8", 5'9". But I'm like, I have good posture, so I look taller. And like I showed up and he was like, "You look like your pictures." And I was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to look like?" Like, but he did not really
Oh,
look like his pictures. But he did have a Mercedes or a BMW. Like, he did have whatever car it was that he told me about, and, like, I'm not a car person, so I wasn't impressed by that, but, like, still, I was like, "This guy is shorter than he said he was," and then, like, and he's like, "Eh." Like, there's a level of attractiveness that might kick you over to, like, I might have sex with this person. There was nothing there, right? Like, so, yeah, so I try to meet people sooner so that I'm not, like, emotionally tethered to the imaginary person that I'm imagining they might be.
mm.
Like, but neither of these 2 guys would commit to meeting up. Like, probably because I was slightly aggressive about it at one point. I was like, "We should, like, hang out somewhere. What are you doing right now?" Like, like, surprise, like, but I also just wanted to be like, "Is this a troll? Like, are they hitting us?" And I think that's hard to figure out when to do on the online dating apps because you, like, don't wanna get murdered, wanna meet some place very open, and you don't wanna, like, have it go on so long that you figure out, like, they're crazy, like, you're crazy. I admit to being totally nuts.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be really honest with you. I think that and here's the thing, sometimes folks say when you get older, you get set in your ways and it makes it more
Mm,
difficult to be in relationships. I don't feel that I'm set in my ways, so to speak. I think if I had to live with someone, I could live with someone. I don't, but I, like I said, I also have come to understand really what makes me me, and what makes me me is that I have to have time by myself, because it's overwhelming to me to constantly be in the presence of someone all the time.
I think more people say that than don't say that. Like, I've noticed that more people are admitting to, "I need recovery time. I don't wanna be around somebody 24/7." My parents, I think part of their relationship struggles when we were growing up is growing up, without a lot of money, you might not have a lot of space, you might be packed in, like, a tight little space, and I think as my parents have had more physical space, they've been able to have a better relationship because my dad's kind of like a loner. Like, he
Mhm.
likes to be alone. He didn't like us kids like underfoot. Like, when he was doing something, I remember my mom was very much like, "Leave your dad alone. He needs to have his quiet time." And I think recognizing and acknowledging that people do need alone time is so important. And a lot of people are raised with this idea that families should be so entrenched with each other, that you should know your partner so well, that they should be like your two halves of a whole. And for a lot of people, I think that's hard. Like, I don't want to be around somebody 24/7. Like, and I also don't necessarily want to share a room with someone. Like, I know that sounds weird, but
No,
I
you
think I
know
would
what?
like my own bedroom.
Some people
That
are
would make it work.
some folks have come out of the closet, so to speak, about their sleeping arrangements. And a number of people, married couples, have different rooms. my aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle, used to they used to have separate beds in the same room, right?
Like
And
the Brady Bunch.
right, you know,
I
and
think, well, maybe that's why, because like I think we grew like a lot of our generation grew up on like, oh, look, they're just like friends. Like they seem like friends. He was gay, by the way.
that's right.
Not
He
on the show.
was gay, but a lot of folks are, because here's the thing. I sleep with my dog, and that's a lot. Okay, she has trained me to sleep on the edge of the bed, even when she gets up and goes into her bedroom and creeps out like a thief in the night, right? I can see that she's gone. I'll wake up and see that she's gone, but still I stay to my little corner that she has allotted me, right? But I sleep hot. I don't want somebody sleeping under me. I have terrible sleep. So somebody that snores would be a death knell for me. And people have different rhythms. Like one
You
of my
d-
neighbors put out on Facebook, you know, I go to bed early. He stays up late. When he comes to bed, he wakes me up. Now I'm awake. Right? Go to your room.
you know, Helena Bonham Carter, and she was married to the director Tim Burton. They had side by side houses with
I've
like
been
this.
advocating that
Oh
for
my
years.
gosh. I I dream of that. Like if I could have a relationship with someone that was serious and we lived in like a twin, like one of those like side by side with like a little tunnel that we didn't have to go outside to like come and see each other. That would be so perfect. Who wants to do that? You don't even have to be attracted to me. No.
You know what? But here's the
Just
thing. I've been
we'll
saying,
just share I want to share it's expensive. Tariffs.
yeah,
No.
yeah. Wait a minute. You know what? Now I would like another paycheck. Can you just
Mm.
give me the paycheck and you go away? I know I'm not a gold digger. Never been one of those kind of chicks. I've never been that smart.
You
But
said go away
no,
and give
just
me your
give me the
paycheck.
money and just go. No, you know what? I have been an advocate for side by side homes for years, and I thought, oh, because what, 50% of marriages or relationships end in divorce, right? So if you live next door to each other, at any given time, you can go to your dad's, or go to your
Go
other
away.
mom, or go to
Get out.
or go over to your mom's. You know what? Or I got to run out. Okay, all I got to do is go next door. I've always advocated for. See, you know
Well,
what?
because household routines can also be different with partners. Like, I know that if I like load the dishwasher, it's got to be loaded the way that I like to load
Now
it. If
that's
I
crazy.
encounter, we're
Crazy.
not using the CR word. Okay, that is organized. My way is the right way.
No,
All I'm saying is I like to load my dishwasher a certain way. If I encountered it, and it hasn't been run yet, I need to fix it, and then I'm angry. I
no.
don't know why I'm angry because at least the dishes were put in it.
Fix
But like
yourself.
a separate household
Mm-mm.
eliminates all those problems. And
No.
I know I need to fit. Like I have a certain way of making the bed. Like the
Okay.
pillows have to be on top of the sheets.
Now
Like
it's
I'm
coming out.
picky. I am picky. It's all coming out. This is
Yep.
what you don't want.
Mm-mm.
Like, and so I dated someone who she was not a pet person. And I'll
Oh,
tell you right now, Melonya, I knew. I was like, we're gonna break up. But like, I'm just gonna let it like peter out. Like, because I also don't like to go through the effort of breaking up with people because like I'm avoidant. And I want you to love this breakup. So, like, I want you to come to the realization that we were not meant to be together.
okay.
And she
So,
had cat allergies, not
oh,
gonna fly.
oh,
And she wasn't a dog lover. Like, she was very much like, "Is that dog hair on me?" And I was just like, "This isn't gonna work, no matter how good the sex is." And the sex was okay. Like, I felt like I gave more, like
what? Here's the thing. So I've been listening to our conversation. Romance. What do you want in a partner? I don't. I don't want a partner. I don't. Because I don't. Like, I spent so many.
I think we want housemates.
No,
They'd
I
have
just
to
I just
be
want a paycheck.
adorable.
That's all. And if I won the lottery, it would take care of all of it. I'm just being honest. I don't want to have to figure out, well, why are they not talking? Are they in some sort of a mood? Or
Oh my
you know,
right?
what time is it? Why isn't he home? Or you know what? When is he? You know when? You know what? How long is that saucer going to stay on the counter? Because I'm not his maid. I'm not. I don't want to go through those mental gymnastics. Or, oh my God, are you going to tell me that story again? I know I was there. You don't have to repeat it, or whatever. You know, I'm just being really honest. You know,
We sound like terrible women.
I'm not. You know what? I'm saving somebody some headache, right? Because you know,
That's
I
it.
don't,
That is such a lie. You are a beautiful person,
thank you, but I'm
and
not easy to be with. I'm not really real
the
affectionate.
best people are not easy to be with. That could just be a phrase, a lie that I'm saying to you.
No, I'm not. I live with myself. It's sometimes if I could escape me, I would. I know. I know all my secrets. No, I think I'm a decent human being, and I think that I would work hard to, you know, be a good
I like how
partner.
this is a job now. You're like, "I think I would do well in the role.
I'm,
I would work hard. You can count on side eye sometimes, but not all the time. Not all the time."
here's my resume. Do you have references? Well, okay.
That's why relationships are difficult because it does feel like a job.
Oh,
Like, you know how when you're like 3 months, like probation, right, at a job, like you're good. You're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the perfect worker." I feel like relationships are exactly like that because there is this like everything's wonderful. And then all of a sudden like the cracks appear and they start to actually show you the type of worker they are. Oh, this person is always leaving early by like 10 minutes. Like, like they're packing up.
Since we're wrapping up, I wanted to share that I am currently in a relationship with someone I've been friends with for 12 years. It took me a while to figure out he liked me, and we've both been in relationships previously and learned what it is that we want. I find the thing that I value the most is our communication, and that he helps me feel safe for whatever I want to share. If you have a conflict, we talk about it. It's awesome. It's a process, but one I learned so much about and excited to learn more about. That is awesome. That's beautiful.
That is what, like, everybody wants.
Yeah,
That's what I would want.
yeah.
Like, if I wasn't having like, I feel like I'm in a relationship with you, Melania. I'm in a relationship with Harry. He's married and has a baby. I'm in a relationship with my best friend,
Yes.
Crystal, and Renee. But, like, all those people are in relationships with other people. Like,
We're
I need to
friends.
find the person.
But
No, I don't. Maybe I don't want a partner.
But here's the thing. You know what, Hannah? This is someone that you've known for
I'm
12
envious of
years.
her very much.
You know what? I'm happy for her. And I
I'm
think
happy too, but I can be
that
envious.
your veins popped out when you said I'm happy too. Oh, she's jealous, Hannah.
I
You know,
I s
but here's the thing.
Hannah, I admitted it.
There is something about those folks who have been you've known for a while, you know, and you hit some key things that are missing from a lot of healthy relationships. If I were to say, what do I want in a partnership? I want a partner. I want a healthy relationship. I want a relationship where I feel physically and emotionally and psychologically safe. I want someone who is a good communicator, right? I want someone who can help work through conflicts, right? These are the real things that make a difference and make a healthy relationship. What I have no interest in whatsoever is toxic relationships, whether it's my own or somebody else. Oh, thank you, Hannah.
Hannah,
You know what, Hannah? She's like, at the time that's right for you both. Hannah, I've been thinking that the time should have been right for years. And now I'm just like, I'm cool. I'm good. If something happened, that would be like, oh, that's interesting. But I'm good.
I am very open to relationships with, as I've said, Halle Berry.
Oh,
Feel
here we
free to
go.
hit me up.
Okay.
I don't care that your vag was out. Uh, like, let me think, who else would I be open
We're
to a
wrapping up
relationship with?
now because we're
We
at
are
the end.
wrapping up.
We can't go through the
I just
whole
want to
list
give my
of
there is a
delusions.
delusional list of people if they want to come and chat me up. The previous host of the Daily Show, whose name I can't remember,
No.
early onset
What's her name?
Alzheimer's.
No.
I'm down for him too.
Okay, we're
Like,
going. We're
he's
going.
he's younger than me, but that's
Very.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
okay. Yes. Right now we are going through Tahitia's list of unlikely dates. All right. So thank you.
Never say never.
Never say never. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of MT Fridays. We'll be here next week, Friday, talking about who knows what. But until then, stay conscious, stay curious. See you next week. We had a good time and hope you did too. Join us each Friday as we fill the brain drain one unscripted conversation at a time. Like, subscribe, and share. Help us spread our reach on YouTube. Until next Friday, stay curious.